welcome to New 26 this week. Sweet and smoky. Kind of makes me want to have some baby back ribs on this Memorial Day weekend. Makes me hungry. But it's the name of episode 205, which we return to the Dragonlands. But more first. I'm thinking this might be a double-tiered moral here. And one based upon peer pressure. The old problem of the youth and being a bully or being bullied. These are widespread modern day problems. And now, thanks to the internet, they're even worse. Peer pressure, for those who may have forgotten, is when you're forced to do something you don't really want to do to look cool in front of other kids because they might be imposing. And we finally find out after all these years that's the deal, kinda, with Grable. Yes, Grable is back. The dragon from Dragon Quest and other dragon-based episodes, Gauntlet, Fire and such. Well, he's back again because we find out this. Smolder is his sister. Strange, and he's been feeling a little down and depressed as of late. So Smolder returns home through permission from Twilight with Spike and Fluttershy because it's dragon hatching season as kind of a kindness report. It's a good setup to have these three characters run off. And in so doing so, we are introduced to the problem, or rather, problems of the episode. We find out from Smolder that Garble's not so much a bad guy as we've been led to assume, and he's got a sweeter, more calm side that he never lets anybody in on. But as soon as Spike shows back up, it's classic Grable all over again. Again, the classic bullying and even the return of some old season 1 jokes. Like lava diving, for instance. And even the return of the lava surfing from an earlier season. There's a lot of callbacks to earlier stuff here, including Grable's 3, minions in tow. And they're just as mean to Spike as ever. Fluttershy, however, curious to see the birth of baby dragons, runs into Ember, who is having trouble hatching the little ones. A lot of little ones. In the dragon grounds, and can't figure out how. It just so happens that both of these problems intersect. It's because of the 3 boy minions stealing lava from the hatching grounds that the young baby dragons can't, be born, which is extremely Loserville Central. But on top of that, we find out that Grable has a thing for beat poetry. Which, my God, this show in unique interest. But he won't do the beat poetry against somebody because he doesn't want to be judged as lame or weak or boring by his peers. So he doesn't do it. He maintains the rule of cool just to be cool. A big thing that peer pressure does. Peer pressure, especially when trying to fit into cliques, can take away an individual's individualism and cause them to throw it all away or to hide it and only keep it for friends and family for fear of looking lame or whatever term they may use. And that being different is bad. Sure, there's been a lot of morals in the show about being yourself is the best thing to be. Shoot, we just had one, which is the biggest problem. This episode comes just off the heels of last week, and she's all yak 2 weeks ago. It's another one of these morals now, combined with the peer pressure and social aspects that have to do with this version of the moral. It's different in this sense. Frenemies was about fitting in, being part of society. This moral is about how the best parts of society celebrate each other's differences, even if we don't individually like them. And by allowing people to be themselves, despite how it looks, and avoiding the pratfalls of being bullied or being the bullier. It's essentially saying what we all know about bully-type characters. Bully-type characters often end up being bullies because of what they are taught or what they are influenced by their friends. Excerpt Diamond's Tiara from Crusaders of the Lost Mark for this. But Grable is the victim of peer pressure. Having peers that are just mean and wanting to keep them as friends, he has to be mean too, which is different than his normal personality, what he wants to do. And yes, even when his jazz poetry ends up saving the Dragonlands and hatching the hatchlings, essentially having everybody laugh at him, which their laughter creates fire strong enough to hatch the eggs. This is rather contradictory. So it's okay to laugh at somebody if it's helpful? This episode is full of unique concepts and depth to characters and dragon's work, yes. But its message and its moral are contradicted by the actions of other characters throughout the episode. Yes, Grable finally gets accepted for what he's willing to do, and people are willing to finally learn and accept, but only because Ember makes that in order, not because they naturally want to do it. Dragon Lord commands cannot be denied, remember. So it's not really that the three peer pressure bullies are now learning from their mistake and respecting Grable, they're essentially being ordered to do so, which downplays the moral. Even the way the eggs are hatched in itself is contradictory to the moral. That he was being laughed at when really, and yes, it helped, but the visual of it just kind of puts me off. This episode is really the first real meh or dud of the season, which we were kind of due for this. And excuse me, but that's how much of a dud it is. It almost feels like a burp. In an otherwise great season thus far, this is the first real hiccup in it. The moral was a good one and a strong one, and showing the effects mentally of peer pressure and the need to stay cool to your peers and what it may do is a cool thing to show off. The sad thing is the setup on the episode's main solutions end up contradicting the message. Nobody really learns anything. They're just ordered to change their ways. And in a kind of weird way, which it doesn't really do, this resolves the Spike and Grable rivalry we've had to deal with throughout the years. But sadly, the resolution comes off too soft and ends up not being fulfilling, which is this episode's biggest problem. It's not among one of the greats, but it's not one of the worst either. It's just there. Much like Dragon Quest and the other episodes featuring Grable other than Gauntlet of Fire, it's a below average episode, which sadly I have to give Sweet and Smoky a 2 out of 6. This episode suffers from the same pratfalls as episodes like Dragon Quest with Grable's character. A great moral is contradicted by the visuals, and also the use of old gags from seasons before adds nothing particularly fresh other than the character depth. It's just an episode that exists, although it's a strong moral, it's not strong enough to even make this episode average, which is pretty sad in my estimation. Hopefully the show will get back on its 5 or 6 out of 6 track next week. And considering what I know at the end, I'm expecting the end of the first half to be pretty strong. But do you disagree with this 2 out of 6, or do you agree? And if you feel so inclined, tell me why down in the comment section below. So until next week, I'm Nirvana Sparkle, and I'm feeling cool, man. Just find your own beat and your own Nirvana, and hopefully it will find you some peace too. Ya dig?